This is episode 178 of the Empowered by Design podcast. I am your host, Dr. Lyz. I am so excited for this episode. I'm here to give you just a short little intro before we jump into the episode with my friend, Nikki Collet, and just to give you a little snippet of what we are going to be talking about today in the episode. There is so much goodness in this episode. Nikki and I are going to touch on three main points, and I'm going to share them with you. Number one, alignment has no timeline. Number two, find yourself, find your magic. And number three, what you are manifesting is also manifesting you. These are three main points that you will hear explicitly in the episode, and I invite you to listen, of course, and absorb and feel the messages that you will also hear implicitly throughout this episode. Nikki and I met a few years ago, which you will hear in a coaching community with Shawn Miner. The link for her program is in the show notes. We also talk extensively about a program called TBM, which stands for To Be Magnetic. That link is also in the show notes. The show notes also include links for you to follow Nikki on Instagram and to get her free resource, Bootcamp for Home Buyers. It talks about the 5 phases of what you need to know, and you didn't even know you needed to know before you buy a home, even if you're not ready yet. It's an amazing resource. Nikki and I talk about something that you know I love. I've talked about before here. The last episode was called Your Authenticity is Your Magic. We talk about the power of authenticity in your life, in your love, and in your biz. We are both entrepreneurs, and we are both passionate about helping other people be authentic, be real, be yourself. And there is so much goodness packed into this episode. I hope you love it. Hello and welcome to the Empowered by Design podcast. I am so excited for this episode. We are talking with my friend, Nikki Collet, and it's going to be a fabulous episode. Grab your favorite beverage. I have coffee. We are just going to chat about magic, unlocking it, manifesting, friendship, and all the things. Welcome, Nikki. I'm so excited you're here.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here.
So Nikki and I are going to talk about how we met and how we have developed a fun friendship throughout the years since meeting and living life authentically. Yeah. Nikki, can you kick it off with how we connected?
Okay. It was 5 years ago. Can you believe that?
5 years
That's
ago.
crazy.
I know.
We have the same business coach, and so we met during her program, and we joined our own little co-working cohort, and we've been meeting ever since.
Yeah. So we connected in 2020, wow, with Shawn Miner, who is our coach. So Shawn started, she had done a lot of things before that, but in 2020, I found her. One of my friends, you've heard me on the podcast say this before, one of my friends, Meredith, thank you, Meredith, sent me a podcast episode and said, I think you will love her. And Shawn was doing a workshop about business and business for wellness professionals. And we were both on the ground floor of that. And it's an amazing community that she has created. I'm so grateful for her bringing me together with you, with Angie, with all the people, like you said, in that it was as it continued to grow, because it started with about 10 to 12 of us, I believe. And then just more and more and more people were coming in. So then we have these little pods, these little accountability buddies, accountability groups where we meet or we vox and we do different things, voice noting, to help stay on track. But it's lovely because we're talking about business, but also all the things, right? Life, love, biz, and all the things we are talking about. And it's just I've just been so grateful for the beautiful connections that we've made in that
Yeah,
community.
definitely. It's been awesome because I joined because I was a health coach, and now I do real estate again. So it's just nice that,
Yes.
to the point of the episode, really, it's about us just being authentic with each other, helping each other grow, find our magic, see where we fit in the world, where our alignment is, and just support each
Yeah.
other along the way. We may have started our friendship, our relationship, our cohort based on having a common business interest. And it's just really cool to see how that's morphed and changed for so many of us.
Yeah, same. I love that. When I remember one of the first times, excuse me, I was in the hot seat in one of our coaching calls, and she was like, what is your business?
$1 million question.
Yeah, because well, you all know me, everybody who's listening. It's like it's this. My brain is like full of
Mhm.
ideas, and she was like, "Okay, I think we need to like focus this down." And that has been a lot of messaging I get everywhere I go. It's like, Lyz, especially from Angie, you need a narrow focus,
Yes.
and I'm just like, but I love all the things. So that has been helpful, and one of the things that it's kind of like for me, as you and I were preparing for this podcast episode, you mentioned alignment has no timeline. And I
Mhm.
love that so much. We're going to talk about that more. But for me, that recently the narrow focus clicked. Like I was like, oh, that's what everyone was talking about. Like I started really talking about my dream formula. And that's I've been talking about dreams forever, for my whole
Mhm.
life. But very recently, I've been like, oh no, this is the thing that lights me up that I want to talk about all the time. And with that, once I got that, like it clicked what everyone was saying, then things started to open up, right? Like it was this process of you have all these things, but you have to bring it down, and then it's okay. It will focus on that thing, and then you can get back to who you are, because I'm still being authentic and
Mhm.
loving all the things. And with me, it helped to do that, like narrowing the focus for at least a period of time, like giving myself a period of time.
Yeah, I love the period of time thing. I think that's where I am. I mean, as you know, I've been doing health coaching. I'm working on business coaching. I'm working on real estate. Who knows what I'm doing because I keep
Yes, we're
going back and
similar.
forth,
We're similar in
right?
that.
So, the thing for me, I had a buyer last month and he's like, "Do you like your job?" And I was like, for the first time, I can actually answer you authentically and tell you yes. Like, I
Oh,
actually
I
do
love
love my
that.
job because I had to figure out how to make it authentic to me.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
I'm in real estate and usually they're very salesy and it feels slimy to me sometimes. And it was really like, wait, I don't have to be that version of a realtor, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can just be here when you want a house. I can
Yeah.
be here when you want to sell a house and I can provide that like calm in the storm for you without having to convince you need me, right? Like, let's just work together when you know you need me so I can be authentic because I can't sell myself like that. It doesn't feel
I love
genuine, you
that.
know?
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, say a little bit about your journey and how you what you're doing now.
In business, in life, in
All
everything.
the let's do all the things.
I feel like I am in a whirlwind right now. And it's funny because when I mentioned the alignment has no timeline, it's because I'm really focusing on that. Even today, I had a conversation. I don't even know how it came up on the way to school with my kids. And I mentioned, yeah, I didn't even know my real name until I was 5. I go by Nikki, but my first name's Elizabeth. And so I don't know how it came up, but it was like so like moment for me of okay, I've lived 5 years of my life thinking that I am this person, and then all of a sudden, bam, you're not who you think you are, and also has a lot of letters in it, so now you have to learn how to write it. You've never even seen it.
It's a long name.
It is,
We
right?
share it. We
Yeah.
share the name.
But it was in that moment that I realized, like, wow, I'm doing a lot of reprogramming. down to what my name is in
Yes.
programming.
Yes.
Um, but acupuncture and chiropractic and TBM, we do the same what is it, a
Manifestation.
manifestation program,
Yes. We
right?
love
So
TBM.
doing all these things, and it's like, okay, but slow down, like just breathe, like you're okay to breathe.
I just took a breath. I
Yeah,
feel like you were telling me that too.
yeah, it's like, it's okay, it will be there for us when we're ready for it. We don't
Yeah.
have to just rush to it, and that's
Yeah.
really kind of where I am in life right now. It's that chaos, and I'm just trying to like really breathe and slow it down, and just, it'll be there. It'll be there for me. I don't have to like have the answer to every problem in 5 seconds.
Right. Yeah, I've been loving watching your reels. Great job on your challenge this month. I know that was one of the things that Sean put out for the community. The one I saw most recently was the acupuncture one, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I must. So I'm putting out right now. I need to manifest someone telling me in my area who's a good
Hmm.
acupuncture person. I really want to try it. I've never tried it. I believe in it, but I've never tried it. So I love trying all the things. But yeah, I loved that you made a reel of like getting acupuncture. That was
Hmm.
so cool.
Well, Sean is great. We've already talked about her, but it's really like, for me, the idea of doing B roll that really doesn't have anything to do with what you're talking about in your reel was just such a disconnect for me. But having to do her challenge was really awesome because I had that idea in the moment. I was like, my daughter was there, and I was like, Jacqueline, record this so that I could
Yes.
use it, like
Yes.
just kind of changing that mindset of being authentic, doing what I'm
Yep.
doing anyway. I don't
Love
need to
it.
put on a show. I can just show up.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited to hear what you think about acupuncture, because
Yeah.
I have a hard time connecting to my body. As an Enneagram 6, I'm very headspace. And so it has been a great way for me to really like tune in to what I need to do next. It's been amazing.
Okay. So just if you're watching on YouTube, you can see that I now have no glasses on. I took them off. Yeah, it's weird to wear the glasses with the headphones. They like press into your face in a weird way. But I love this. I love this. Well, as you're talking about B-roll, I remember one of my friends, Kat, was like, hey, do you want to go to this place and just shoot some B-roll? And I'm like, what's B-roll?
Yeah.
Like I didn't know what B-roll is. And I still don't, I never like Googled it, right? But can you say how I think of it as like what you said is just you're doing things in your life
Hmm.
that you're showing people your authenticity. Basically,
Yeah.
you're doing that. You're recording, which I think is the tricky part, right? Like, because
Hmm.
for me, recording B-roll, it's still can feel maybe like you're not present. But the
Hmm.
way you did it, I love. Like, hey, Jacqueline, like you have somebody there with you here. Tape, video this.
Tape it. We're so old.
I'm a child of the 80s. Tape this, record this. And so you're showing people who you are
Hmm.
on the B side, which is, if we think about tapes and records,
Hmm.
it was the A side, the B side. So we're showing up like this. This is our A side. Like, oh, we're talking about our business. We're talking about career. We're talking about life, love, all the things. But the B roll is what we're doing behind the scenes, what our day looks like.
Right.
That's showing who we authentically are. That's how I think of B roll.
Yeah, it's interesting because at first I was like, I'm just making a video of me drinking some water. Like, what does this have to do with anything? Like, this is so weird. So weird. So I actually went into my photos, and I was just like, what videos do I have of myself already? Like, what
Mm,
am I already doing, so that it felt more authentic to me, because I wasn't like posing for the camera, Like, as much as we want to
mm-hmm.
say I wouldn't be posing for the camera, I was like,
Right.
okay, let me
Yeah.
take my dog on a walk, and then awkwardly like set my phone here and then walk back.
Yeah.
I did it.
For me, it's too much. I'm like, I'm not doing that. That's why when my friend Kat was like, let's do it together. Yeah. You need a friend to do
Right.
B roll.
It makes it so much easier. So most of them were authentic in that piece. And I really still just didn't buy into it until having conversations in this last like few days. I've been talking to a lot of people that I haven't connected with in a while. And everyone's like, I love what you're doing on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so nice to see you. And I'm just like, oh, wait, I think this is working. Like,
Yes.
I think people are getting to know me without me
Yes.
having to say anything.
Right.
And it's
I love
really
that.
cool because I didn't
Yeah.
expect that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking about how that happens, right? Like how logistically, like if I go back through my phone, right? Obviously it's my
Mhm.
phone. So I'm taking all the pictures. And we thinking about it as women and moms, right? We're both
Mhm.
moms, is like on your phone is pictures of everyone else. And even if
Mhm.
before phones came around, right, when you go on family vacations, who's taking all the pictures? Well, a lot of times it's mom, sometimes it's dad or
Mhm.
whoever, mom,
Yeah.
dad, whoever, grandma. But there's not a lot of content of us, right?
Mhm.
Now the selfie is there, but yeah. So I really, I have to grow in the B-roll. I have to grow in the
What's
B-roll realm.
What's really cool is that the iPhone will do live photos. And so some of the reels that I posted for
Mm,
B-roll, they were just live photos that
I
I
love
like
live. I take
used
everything on live.
as a video, right?
Yeah.
What's really cool is that for every one video of myself, I have like 20 of my family, of course,
Yeah.
like you're
Yeah.
saying, right? But luckily, I have a partner who does make sure that there are photos and videos of me too. So that's helpful. But without her doing that, I would have had nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I really it's been really awesome because it feels like my business and my personal are finally like kind of meshing, right? Like the B-roll is my personal stuff, what I'm going through, what I do on a daily basis, how I am finding alignment for what I enjoy to do, what I
Mm,
like, who am I, right? Down to like what's my name almost. How do I feel today, right? These are things that I
hmm.
shouldn't have to ask myself, or I feel like I shouldn't have to ask myself, but I do. I'm
Yeah.
35, and that's like 30s are your deprogramming time, you know? So it's like, okay, it seems normal. Let me just do this. But to connect it to my business piece is really cool to see.
Mm,
It's really cool to see, like, oh, I'm on this like slide at this event and I have a B-roll of it. And then, oh, hey guys, if you want to do free things in your area, here's my, resource for free events going on in town, you know? So it's really cool to see how I've been able to be more authentic in work.
I love that too, Nikki, because when we met, you were doing health coaching, right?
Mhm.
And so you had already been a realtor and you were focusing on the health coaching
Mhm.
aspect of your business. And I think it is a really lovely reflection of the timeline piece about things that when you're aligned with your values and your vision, that you can be patient. I'm
Mhm.
learning that lesson, right? Like my soul is patient is one of the things I'm learning. And that seeing you like pick up little pieces along the way and then come take them and pull them like as a thread through coming back into your job, your business as a real estate agent. And it's not only about selling houses,
Mhm.
right? Or getting people into a home. You're also helping them do it with fun
Mhm.
and a balance and things like that you were focusing on when you were doing the health coaching, when that was the focus,
Yeah.
right? And so that I've loved to see, hear, and talk about with you as the journey has come. And it's like, yeah, if I didn't go down that path, I wouldn't be this version of myself in life or my business,
Yeah.
which is more well-rounded and more connected and more balanced and having, more authentic with your name and how you're showing up for yourself and for your family and your business.
Yeah, it's really cool. And that's the thing is I feel like while there's no timeline and we need to be patient, I've also experienced the opposite of that where it's like I get so aligned and then so many things happen at once and it's kind of
Mm,
overwhelming, right? So I feel like it's important to acknowledge it's not just when we have to wait, right? It's like, okay, I've manifested this, I'm aligned, and now like it's time to take that action and it's okay to have to like get all the things and be like, oh, okay, I'm doing it. I'm doing the thing, you
yes.
know?
Yeah, one of the things I remember, believe it was around last summer, that you were talking about that stuck with me was just really like, I'm doing things because I want to, not because I think I should be
Yes.
doing them in my business. And I was like, yes, yes, right? Because that was something, that's something that can really put a lot of pressure on us and then make us not act. So I love
Mhm.
this where you're talking about, okay, and the flip side, the B side is that you also have to take action. You can't just be like, oh, and things are going to fall into place. They will, right? We have to take the action that is in line with our goals, our values, our dreams, and make sure we're not avoiding it because we're scared, which
Right.
happens
Right.
often.
I saw something on Instagram yesterday. I wish I knew who it was. I'll have to get back to you on it. But um, she was saying, like, she does this thing where she like acts as the universe, and then she acts as like the person manifesting, and she does like that
Oh,
character thing, and she has so many of them. But the one I saw
oh yeah, I want to follow.
and she's so cool. The one I saw yesterday was like, the manifester, like, I want all these things, I'm doing all the things. And she's like, but you're not coming from a place of authenticity. You're coming
Mm,
from fear. Like, you're not actually like
yes,
aligning, you're fearful.
right.
And so
Yes.
you have to feel worthy of these things.
Right. Right. Which is, yes, something that I say a lot. And sometimes things we say, we really have to like pause and say, oh, am I doing this?
Yes.
Right. Because I had a conversation yesterday where I was saying like, here's what I help people do. And as I was saying it, and I'm like, funny that I'm talking to you because you're going to help me do that. Like in
Mhm.
this one area. Right. So it's the things that we're teaching, we're living them too.
Yes.
Right. We're learning and living, and both of us are very passionate about teaching what we learn,
Hmm.
right? Like I loved when in the one box that you sent me, it was like in my human design, I'm supposed to be learning these lessons to pass them along, and I'm like, me too. I don't know if that's in my human design, I forget, but it feels like it might be.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Angie did my human design reading and she's like, so you're going to go through a lot of things because you need to help other people through them. And I'm like, who created that? That's not fair.
I don't know if I want
I don't
that.
want to do
Wait,
that.
take that back. Yeah.
So,
And it helps to know if you're coming from a place that's in line with your values and your
mhm.
vision, or coming from a wounded place. That's
Yeah,
something I say a
absolutely.
lot in my work, whether it's in my therapy work or coaching work or in my circles or here. If you're coming, like this woman that you're mentioning, if you're coming from this place of fear, avoidance, this wound, then you're showing up in a way that's not your authentically magical self.
Hmm.
And it's not that you're bad, right? But it's like, well, you might not know. And so that's why doing the work and sitting in meditation and sitting in circle and dreaming and exploring those dreams can help bring to the surface, even manifest, which means like become evident, the things that are not in your awareness right now. We don't know what we don't know. And we have to take responsibility to learn what it is we're showing up with, what our words are saying with underneath the words as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's been the biggest thing for me is having such a good supportive group of people who are like-minded and on the same journey, and holding each other accountable is huge.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to at one point I was like, I'm already healed. I've already done all this stuff. Why is it coming back up? Like, why is this a thing?
When can I stop
I
learning
thought I
and
already did
growing?
this. What's
Never.
happening? And then it's that realization of like, oh, okay, this is a process, and there's layers to this, and I'm gonna
Layers.
like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to a good spot, and then something's gonna come up, and I'm gonna get to a better spot, and it's just gonna continue to go and
Yeah.
grow. And having those people in your corner who are really there to support you and kind of show you where you're blind,
Mm-hmm.
that has been life changing for me.
Yeah. And in a loving way,
Oh
right?
yeah.
That's the other piece. In a safe, loving, like, hey, when you said this, it sounded like this or whatever, because
Mhm.
too often we've had the experiences where someone showed us our blind spot in a way that was like
Right.
hurtful, terrible, terrifying. You get blindsided, embarrassed, humiliating. And so we then avoid those kinds of situations where we might see something that we didn't know, right? And that's very common. A common trap, a common block from learning about ourselves is because it's happened to us in ways that were not nice. And we're trying to avoid that at all costs.
For sure.
The emotions. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
One of the other things I love that you said as we were planning is find yourself, find your magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a very big conversation, you and I, in January. And I also love how you said January feels like years ago, right? Like just a few months ago, you and I met for one of our, regular meetings, and it was just the two of us. It just so happened other people had things going on. And we were like, do you still want to meet? Yes, I want to meet. I had so much to talk about. And I was like, I need to get it out. And you're like, I'm here to listen. Right. And it's kind of like neither of us 100% can remember every piece of content, right, that we talked about in that conversation, because you listened and then you were talking, and it was kind of like lots of aha moments that we were talking about. I was doing a TBM workshop. So TBM stands for to be magnetic. It's an amazing manifestation process that is very much in line with what it's just when I found it, when Angie introduced it to me, I'm like, yes, I have a thing that I can do for me, right? Like it's unblocking what's in your way, these things that we're talking about and that I've helped people do. And then also it's a program that you can do on your own, right? Yeah. So unblocking the things that are standing in your way, going into the pain, going into the shadow, going into your inner child, history and experiences, unblocking the things that are standing in the way that are keeping us stuck in that wounded avoidance space, and then taking the aligned action with our values and our vision. The piece for me that TBM really helped with was the expanding part. So for me, I wasn't, I didn't have like the formula of like, oh, I can ask someone for help in this way. Like I was afraid or ashamed, like why don't I know this? And so I would be afraid or ashamed to ask for help. I'm growing in that area. And that was one of the magical pieces for me, and just in all of it together. I'm going to pause because I feel like you had a thought there.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I'm like listening to it. I'm like enthralled all over again. I'm like, yeah, that's great. Oh, no. I did have something.
Okay.
I think the important thing about TBM too is that the first thing you do is discover your authentic code.
Yes.
So everything that you're talking about working through, we have to do that through the lens of our authentic code. And when I did that exercise, I was completely shocked that everything that was my authentic code was all the things that I was avoiding.
That you were avoiding.
That I was avoiding.
Wow.
Connection, community. Nope, I don't want to get to know people. Nope, I don't want to do things outside. I don't want to go to networking events because what if they don't like me? What if they leave? All the inner child wounds or things, or right, your ego getting in the way, and it's like, wait a second, I'm being so inauthentic, and I'm over here thinking I'm rocking it, like had no idea.
Yeah, I love that. Yes. And then it's taking your authentic code and making sure the things that you're calling in that you want to manifest, that you are desiring, you're craving, again, in Life, Love, Biz, are in line with that authentic code, right? That's the work, and it's beautiful. And so I was doing one of the workshops and had a revelation, right? Because that's what I love, those aha moments that are like groundbreaking and also like earth shattering, right, and beautiful at the same time, right? That's the beauty of this life, is the ambiguity and the uncertainty. And when those two like opposing forces collide and you're like, oh, I need to tell somebody about this. Yes. And what came up, one of the things that had come up for me was I was not being authentic, right? I had created these illumination circles so that I could bring my spiritual gifts, the seeing spirits and talking about spirits and talking or communicating, just vibing with angels and spirit team and loved ones who have passed. And I hadn't intentionally done that in the work yet with the circles. And I was like, that's it. The next circle, it's going to be about angels and spirit guides and spirit team. And it was a magnificent circle. Like it was, I loved help. So for me, it's not only just about like welcoming the spirit energy and into my realm of conscious awareness, but helping other people do it. Right. So
That's so cool.
when we are sitting in our authenticity, we invite other people to sit in theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's like the expander, right? If you can, I'm getting chills right now as I'm talking about this. It's like, yes. When we have the confidence, the conviction, the comfort, the safety to say, this is me, we give that gift to others to be themselves with us.
Yeah. And Lyz, that's, it's mind-boggling because I feel like we are reliving our January experience because I kid you not, I could show you my notes right now. I was trying to I'm like, okay, what do we talk about? I don't remember our January conversation. And the one thing I took from it was Lyz was my expander.
Oh.
So for you to our conversation was about your authenticity and stepping into that. And then it was just like that conversation was the catalyst for me to start this whole journey. I wasn't in TBM and I was like, oh my gosh,
Okay.
like I want to do this. And I was coming from such a lack mentality that when our group of friends all signed up, I was like, I can't do it, guys. Like business isn't where I want it to be yet. Like I just moved, I can't do it. And after talking to you and, seeing how great you were doing after you started implementing your authenticity, it was contagious. It was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for saying that. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Angie saying that to me before she introduced TBM. She's like, you're an expander. And I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? And now I'm like, oh, I need an expander in this. And we're all expanding each other, right? Because you're my expander and she's my expander.
Yeah.
And so it's lovely so to say what an expander is, it's being able to see in someone else something that you want for yourself. And usually as women, and humans in general, but I will say women get a bad rap for this. When we feel that like envy, or we sometimes think it's jealousy, we're like, oh, I'm not not allowed to be jealous. I'm not allowed to want what you have. That's a 7 deadly sin, like all the things. Yet these are emotions, envy, jealousy. And Angie, this just last week reminded me of the difference, right? Like, so envy is, I want what you have. And since I see that you achieved it, I know I can see it to believe that I can too, right? That's what TBM talks about. Jealousy is more of the aspect of, I'm afraid you're going to take what I have.
Yes.
And so I'm getting like, ooh, very uncomfortable about that, which is, it's human, right? Because to survive, we had to, our ancestors had to take from others, right? The fittest and you needed to do all that. What's that phrase?
Survival of the fittest.
That's it. Thank you. Yeah. And so that's in us, that's ingrained in us. When the resources were lacking, when there wasn't enough food and there wasn't enough shelter in our world, now there's plenty, there's an abundance, right? And so we don't need to take from others anymore, right? And so that just bringing to the surface and being able to say, oh, can you show me how to do that? I want that experience, or I want that knowledge. Can you teach me? And that's what it is when you're finding someone who's expanding you.
Yeah, I love that you just explained the difference between envy and jealousy, because I have that conversation so often with people because I'm like, oh, I'm so envious. And they look at me like I have 12 heads and I'm like, that's not a bad thing. Like,
right.
that doesn't
You're
mean
not
I don't want
supposed to
them
say
to have
that.
it. That's not what that means, actually,
Say that part again. that last part.
When you're envious of someone, you don't want to take it away from them.
Yes.
You want to also have that
Right.
thing or that experience or that
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah.
You don't, or, it's not negative. And so I love that you're bringing light to that.
Mm-hmm. And I think even going one step further, that helps to highlight the point of when someone is envious of another. So if I'm envious of you and then you're afraid I'm going to take it, there's the jealousy, right? Like, well, don't take my success. Well, no, look, let's build each other up,
Yes.
which is what I have built my business on, and the illumination circles on, and all the things is there's plenty for all of us. Let's collaborate and connect, because we are great by ourselves, but we are so much more magnificent when we connect authentically with others and lift each other up.
Well, yeah. I mean, in health coaching, the coolest thing I learned was that one of the elements of health is community. Like, we are communal beings. We cannot be fully healthy without community. And so if we can get over the idea that we need to prove our worth to everyone, and we can just step into our authenticity and our alignment and like figure out how we can be our best and then help support everybody else being their best simply by being our best and our authentic selves, it's really cool to see that. And I think that goes back to what I was saying about finding the people who will call you out when you're blind, right? It's not about doing it in a negative way. It's not about someone being jealous or trying to knock you down. It is that empowerment of wanting everybody in your circle to be good and authentic.
Yep. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. That January conversation was so amazing for me too. It was, and we learned about each other. We learned we both are Elizabeth.
Yes.
We learned we're both, what did we learn about our signs? We're both Cancer.
Both Cancers. Mm-hmm.
But we're not the same rising sign. We're both Cancer. I'm a Leo rising.
I don't know what I am.
Yeah. I think we realized
we're different.
I
don't think I'm Leo.
Yeah.
I'm totally checking. I'm totally checking what am I? I'm Scorpio.
Scorpio rising.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know any of those things.
But that's okay. Yeah, I'm learning that too. Yeah. I'm learning
There's
all the things. Keep on learning.
There's so many cool modalities in which to learn more about ourselves and to help us figure out what's authentic. It's so cool, but it can be overwhelming sometimes. So there's some things where I'm like, you know what? I like it. I think it's cool. I have my CoStar app. I look at it every day. And also, I can never remember what I am.
Right. Yeah, I love to say there's not one way, right?
Yeah.
Because and that's one of the things that we've talked about, and that I loved seeing in your reels of the acupuncture and the fun and going to therapy and exploring our dreams and voice noting our friends and all the different things we can do to be well, putting good things in our body and making sure we're resting and drinking plenty of water, right? Drinking that glass of water. You show, so you're showing us in the B-roll all the different ways that it that you intentionally put into your life, take action on, that's in line with your goal of being healthy and well and happy and balanced.
And what's cool is that was all on accident, just by being authentic. And honestly, Sean's challenge, it was like, okay, I have to do these 20 reels, and you know what? Like, it's so stressful to me. I'm just going to do it, and it's going to be what it is. And I had no expectation whatsoever. And to see what happened was really cool.
What did happen? But I know you said people are saying to you, I feel like I know you better. Yep. What else happened?
Yeah. So just from, well, I learned a lot about my messaging and for my business. So that was really cool. And I actually learned that my authentic self is what people are wanting. So that was super
cool. I love that.
The reel that did the best was like, you can learn about buying a home without buying a home right now. Right. And that's like my whole thing. I'm like, I want you to be educated. I want you to be empowered. And by no means should you being educated on something mean that you are required to do that thing.
Yes. Oh, I love that. There's a pressure that you just took off of people. That is so beautiful because it's scary, right? It can be so scary to
Oh
buy a
yeah.
house, right? And invest and sign on the dotted line. But you're
Hmm.
saying, well, learn about it first.
Yeah, I'm like,
Doesn't mean you have to do it just now.
exactly.
Love
And
that.
the other one that did really well was like, buy a house within your means so that you can enjoy the city you're living in. You know,
I
um,
remember that one. I saw
I
it.
think again, the things I don't like about my industry are all the things that and all the things I disagree with, like pressuring people, forcing them to buy something at the highest price point, making them pick something before they're ready, like all the things that I really am like, I hate my job. I don't want to be doing this. Da 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 da. It's like actually like I got into this business so I could be the change because I kept hearing how much people had horrible experiences. And I was teaching high school. It was horrible. I couldn't do it anymore. And so this was supposed to be just like a kind of like a layover while I figured out my life, right? And so I've been spending the last 5 years that we've known each other trying to figure out how to get out of this layover. Like, where's my next stop? Where am I going next? And really, I'm learning like I'm right where I need to be.
I love
And I
that.
need to just embrace it and show up as myself where I am so that I can just go wherever it's going to take me. And I don't need to worry about where the next destination is.
Yeah. Oh, I love
But I
that.
couldn't do that without the conversations we have, without
Right.
all
And
the
support,
all the work
community,
that we're doing.
collaboration. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Ooh, I love it. Um, and number three, the third thing we wanted to talk about was that we talked about in January
mhm.
was what you are manifesting is manifesting you. And
Yes.
I believe I heard that on a TBM podcast. We're talking a lot about TBM,
Yeah.
but yeah, it really has been a life changer for me. But that sentiment of what you're manifesting, calling in to your life, is on in this beautiful cyclical nature of the universe is also manifesting you at the same
Mhm.
time.
Yeah, you said that, and that was really the aha moment for me that like sparked all the rest of them
Mm,
because there's this idea that I had, and sometimes I still struggle with it, but it's like, why? What gives me the right to ask for that?
mm,
Right? And it's
hmm.
ultimately comes down to worthiness and rewriting the stories that you grow up hearing and things like that. But it doesn't occur that way unless someone points it out to you that it is that way. And then you can do the work to get through that and whatever. But it was very eye opening of like, oh, I'm allowed to want this. Like
Yeah.
when I'm envious of someone, it's because I'm also made for that.
Oh, I love that. Yes. Yeah. So rather than judging yourself on the envy, it's like,
Mhm.
ooh, use it as a tool
Yeah.
to really highlight what your soul is yearning for and made for and
Hmm.
deserving of.
Yeah.
Because it's here, right? Just because it's you're here, you're human, and that's the deservingness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So it was
love that.
very, very powerful.
Yeah. I love that you also said the stories. I think it's interesting to hear when we listen to people and really like get at what's the story underneath for ourselves and for
Mhm.
others. Um, and you can't just say to somebody, "What's your story?"
Right.
Like, that's not the way to find it. And that's where it takes some of this work of sitting with yourself and really like allowing some of those things to dislodge, the
Hmm.
blocks to unblock, the doors to open, the windows to open, and things come and it's like, oh, that's what I've been telling myself this
Yeah.
whole time. That's what's the story I need to change. I need to
Hmm.
change the story that I'm telling myself.
Yeah. Brene Brown is where I got that from. Like the
Oh,
story
okay.
you're telling yourself
Yeah.
is, right?
Yeah.
And so I have a friend who I'll vent to her and she's like, so the story you're telling yourself is, and she like makes me fill in the blank.
I love
And
it.
it's
I
like
love it.
that accountability of like, thank you for letting me vent and being there, right? Because we're human and we need to do that. And
Mm-hmm.
also, you're not going to let me just sit and sulk in it. You're going to make me take ownership and you're going to empower me to actually do what needs to be done.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Um, Okay, and I asked you if you would love to do a card pool, and you said,
Yes, I've never done one
I
before.
know, I love it.
Ever.
So I brought two decks. I brought the Moon deck and the Dreamers deck. I think we have time to do one from each, just because that's what came to me. So I'm like, let's do it. All right, so the Moon deck I'm going to do first.
Okay.
Isn't that fun? I'll put my glasses back on so I can read it when it comes.
Also, can I just say, I love that it's called the Moon Deck because my acupuncturist has me on herbs right now and they're called moon pearls. And I'm like, moon pearls.
I love
So the fact that
that.
you pulled the Moon Deck is so cool.
Look, and I'll show you I'll show you when I pull the card. So for you, Nikki, and me, and all of you who are listening, I invite you to just take a moment and take a breath. Close your eyes if you're not driving. And just call into mind something you would like clarity on. Gosh, okay. Oh, how pretty is this? Proper rest helps me feel and look my best. That's interesting that came up. What are your thoughts about that?
I love that. That's what I'm working on right now is resting and pausing.
And she's like, so for those of you listening, this beautiful woman who is hugging a crescent moon, and she's resting, and there's a flower in the corner. This is card number 34. Does that have any meaning to you, Nikki? 34?
I don't think so.
I love to always look at the picture, think of the message and the number. Okay, then we're going to do, and I wanted to show you on the back there, it does look like a moon pearl, doesn't it?
That's so cool. Wow, that's really awesome.
And the Dreamers deck. This one is one of my newest decks. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. You know me and dreams. We did talk about dreams in our January conversation as well.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that my journey will have highs and lows. I am aiming for progress. Tell me why you're laughing.
Because so crazy. The universe. So interesting. I went back home yesterday. So I live in Orlando. I'm from Tampa. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hour drive. Yesterday I was in Tampa. I saw a friend that I hadn't seen in a really long time, and he's like, "You look so happy. You look so great." He's like, you're glowing, like you're so amazing." I've had the worst week of my life. And him saying that, I was like, even my bad days are so much better than even my bad days are so much better than my good days used to be.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then for you to pull that card, I'm like, yeah, okay, affirming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I do this a lot when I'm talking to people. Like we're like wherever we decided we're starting, like recollecting that we're starting some kind of work. We like start here and we're like, we circle, we spiral, the spiral up. But it's like every time we get here, we kind of come back to something that we're like, why is this happening again? Or why is this coming up again? But when we don't celebrate and pause and say like, oh, but remember how it came up back here. Remember how that was like. And now it's still there. There's still a part of me that's trying to tell me something or learning a lesson. Yet I'm continuously growing, making progress, growing, celebrating. And how lovely is that?
That's cool.
Yeah. And rest, proper rest.
Yeah.
Maybe that one's for me. I definitely always can use some more rest. I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that too, of a message for rest. And I invite the listeners to make meaning of those cards together. Proper rest helps me feel and look my best. I know that my journey will have highs and lows. I am aiming for progress. Whew. Nikki, where can we find you? Tell us how to find you, and you're in the Orlando area.
My Instagram is at Nikki.Collet.
Let's spell it for people who are driving.
At NIKKI.COLLET. And then my website is just my name, NikkiCollet.com.
Love it. Yeah. Love it. I love that you did that, because I remember you had a different website, right? And it's like, for us who do all the things, we're like, maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do this. Yeah. It's like, okay, it's the journey. Yeah. And so now people can find you doing real estate and also the holistic like balance.
Yeah. I mean, I have a free resource about first time home buying, and it's, you don't have to use me. You don't have to be here for that to be beneficial to you. Yeah. So, again.
So where do we find that free resource?
It's on my website.
Right on your website.
It'll be the
first. So go to NikkiCollet.com, find the free resource about first time home buying.
Yeah.
Again, what are some of the little nuggets you put in there?
I really go over like the 5 phases of buying a home, and then just like little tidbits about each section. I think it's really overwhelming if you're like, I'm going to buy a home, and you don't really know what to expect. And so it kind of breaks it down into easier to understand spots. It's a 28-minute video.
Oh, I love that.
It's it doesn't take long. You can listen to it whenever you want. And it really just, again, I've heard Florida is the wild, wild west with real estate. So if you're outside of Florida, I don't exactly know how helpful it'll be for you, but it's worth taking a look at and kind of seeing, what happens when you find a house you like. Or I have a lot of stuff in there about being authentic in the home you're looking for, right? Like, ooh. I think that doing the pre-work of knowing what you need out of your home makes the process a lot easier. So talk about that some in there.
Yeah. What do you want out of your home? And it also goes back to this other point you made earlier of, even if you're not ready right now, right? Sometimes the watching of the video, the downloading of the free resource, it's the unlocking we need to see like, oh my, I can do a down payment. Yeah. I can get the house of my dreams, right? Like I can buy a home. I can, right? Sometimes it's that simple of making a move, doing an action that's in line with your vision, even if it's just absorbing a piece of information, having a conversation, saying out loud, I want to do this thing. Yeah. I want to buy a home, is the key that just unlocks that door that allows you to walk through and take the next step. Yeah. Love it.
And there's nothing wrong with learning and not using that information right now.
Right. Having it there. So, this was so fun. Thank you so much for joining me. I am so excited for this podcast and all the things and connecting with you again. I'm inviting the listeners, please share this episode with someone that you love. There's so much in here for inspiration and learning and growing and being authentic. So when we are ourselves, when we are authentic, we are magic.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. This was so good.
Bye, Nikki.